Hello, my name's Jenny Luddington and I am introducing myself to you today as the Disability Liaison for the South East District. Welcome everyone to the Equinox Online Festival. I hope that you're having a fantastic time. I suppose I'll start at the beginning and tell you a little bit about my disability background. I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was 17, and at the time I had been quite a healthy young woman, and I had a path that was on a very kind of direct trajectory. I was going to go and do my A-levels, and then I was going to go on to university and go on from there. But when my seizures started, I was having about 6 tonic-clonic seizures a week. I would be sent home from college. There was a negative impact on my learning, and I ended up dropping out of college. I found myself pregnant at 18 and married, so everything was kind of happening in a really hurly-gurly kind of order. And I was managing with a young baby and trying to control my epilepsy. I didn't get onto the right cocktail of drugs until I was in my mid-20s. But when I did get that controlled, after a couple of years, I asked to try being weaned off medication. So after the 2 years seizure free, I was weaned off medication, and I was 10 years completely free from seizures. And in 2012, I had a breakthrough seizure while I was at work, and it was quite devastating because I'd kind of begun to think of myself as a person who didn't have epilepsy, didn't have a disability, although quite often I've had periods of depression and anxiety, which are conditions that are often comorbid with epilepsy. So that's kind of where I am with my disability. I've got most of the tonic-clonic seizures under control now. I still have absences, and I still have myoclonic seizures, which are kind of jerks of the hand. So if you do see me kind of drop the camera or an arm or a leg go, that's perfectly in a range of normal for me. So I'd like to tell you now a little bit about my pagan path. Again, my interest in paganism kind of began in my mid-20s. I had started reading a few of the kind of Wicca 101 books, because that was what was accessible to me. I met a lady in a library, and I think I must have been wearing a pentacle or something, because she asked me, "Are you one of our kind of people?" And I wasn't quite sure what to make of that, but I said, maybe. And I ended up getting involved in a Wiccan influenced teaching and learning circle. And that was great while it lasted, but it did eventually spectacularly implode. And after that, I absolutely swore off working with others. I was going to be solitary, but unfortunately I'm one of those people that really likes to play with others, and I love group ceremony. I love interacting with other people and creating group ritual. So in about 2002, I think it would have been, I got involved with a local moot in Dover, and I was really lucky to meet some absolutely fantastic people that really re-established my roots in the community. And we did some fantastic things, some fantastic fairs and festivals. Unfortunately, a lot of people moved on and moved away, so the Dover Moot kind of ceased to be. But then a few years later, in about 2004, two of my friends who had moved away moved back to Folkestone, and we founded the Folkestone Pagan Circle. And that has just done amazing things. We have a moot, we have open rituals, we have pop-up temples, we have a red tent for the ladies, and we have a white tent for the guys. So it's a really active, really busy, really cohesive community, and I feel really, really proud to have been part of the team that got that off the ground. I've just recently stood down as chairperson to allow somebody else to take up the mantle of being the chair, but I still very much support the work that Folkestone Pagan Circle do. I'm also involved in the Kent Goddess group, which is a women's ceremonial group, and we do some fantastic ceremony work to celebrate the Wheel of the Year. So how did I get, sorry, that was the cat, she's wanting to say hello to you all. How did I get involved with the disabled pagans? I'd seen the Beltane festival, and I just thought to myself, that is absolutely fantastic. And I sort of vowed to get in touch with Debbie and to see if I could liaise with the sort of Kent liaison. And I started corresponding via email with Debbie and asked her if she could put me in touch with the liaison, and she told me that unfortunately there wasn't anybody in post, and would I like the role. And the rest, as they say, is history. So I got signed up, and I'm now looking forward to working with and serving the disabled pagans in the southeast. Now, the reason that I've chosen to volunteer in this role is because of how isolating living with a chronic condition can be. I know that I've always been very lucky in that I've always had the resources to be able to get a taxi to a moot or to get a lift to a moot. But if you don't have those resources in place, it can be very hard to find others to connect with. Likewise, not everybody does want to do public ritual or ceremony, and that is fine if that is your choice, but we all still want some way to connect, and be that by the new technologies that we have, be it by email, be it by phone calls. Living with chronic illness and disability can be incredibly isolating. So even if you don't want to do things in groups, you probably still want to make connections. And that is what I would like to do, is to help people with disabilities on pagan paths find ways to stay connected. And if that is to access the online festivals, but I'd also like to know what barriers you have to fully participating, and how you think the Pagan Federation as an organisation can help remove some of those barriers. So thank you so much for listening to me, and I look forward to participating in the festivals and the Disabled Pagans Voices project, because I love poetry. And if there is anything that you'd like to know more, please drop me a message under this video. Thank you very much for your time. Bye bye.